Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Soul Survivors of Chicago's Breaking the Silence show. Today is a very special show, and I'm very grateful that you're on today. I first want to thank CAN TV for this platform and all our guests that are out there watching. But before I do that, I have to introduce my sister from another mother.
Yes.
Miss Carmela Richardson, who's joining us today and is going to talk to us a little bit more about a very serious topic as it relates to gun violence and advocacy, and share her story as well as us looking at what we can do as a community to come together and support Carmela and others who have been impacted by gun violence and trauma. So with that being said, I want to thank Carmela for coming on again.
Oh, thank you for having me, sis. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
I am too. So, outside of asking who you are and doing all those questions, right? You have a beautiful young man sitting next to you. And I know his name, but I would love for you to share with the audience who he is and tell us a little bit about him, and as you know.
Well, this is Myron Richardson. This is my son, my firstborn. He was killed July 6th of 2021. He was murdered, taken from me, and I am on the quest to fight for justice for my son. But just to give you a little background on who Myron was, he was a clown. He was a mama's boy. He was a good big brother, great kid all around, and I miss him. I miss my baby.
Thank you so much for sharing. Yes. So as we know, Myron was tragically killed, and Carmela's talked a lot about doing advocacy work and finding justice. So for us, we would love to know a little bit about the advocacy work and what you feel would be supportive and helpful in the things that you're doing. Or talk a little bit about what you're doing right now, like projects and relationship.
So right now I am working on getting an honorary sign for my son. He was found shot and burned on Doty Road in Chicago, Illinois. And as far as I know, growing up as a kid, it's always been called Doty Road. So just trying to get an honorary sign, just to honor my son and his life and his legacy that meant something to me, to myself. But right now I am going back and forth to court. I can't really speak on a lot of the court litigations, but right now I am going to court. The person that took my son from me is behind bars, but not for the murder of my son, just for concealing the homicide. So right now I'm fighting for murder charges and just to get the proper justice for my son.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. You know, as parents, one of the things that we honor and we love is to have our children safe.
Yes.
And when we have tragedies like this, oftentimes I wonder what a good advice would be to tell a parent. And I'm wondering if you had any advice that you would tell a parent when it comes to losing a child. What would you say? What brings you the strength to do what you do? What would you advise them to do? What would the steps be as you see them?
Well, you know, they say that there's 5 to 6 steps in grief. Honestly, I don't live by that. I take it one day at a time. That's the only thing that gets me through the day. I do have 7 other children at home. That keeps me way busy. But I try to focus on them. I'm trying to learn different ways to deal with just being this new person, like Carmela that was known before Myron was killed. She's gone, you know, so now I'm learning a new me, a new way of parenting because I'm so strict and My kids can't go nowhere without me type, things. But I pray. I pray. I pray. I pray. People might think I'm crazy pulling up on the side of me in the car and they just see me talking, don't hear no music. Those be my times that I be talking to God and just asking for the strength, the guidance, the motivation just to, get up and live life. Because at the end of the day, I know my son would want me to continue to live as hard as it is. But also, I still have to live for my other kids. They still deserve the best mom. They still deserve the best me. My friends, my sisters deserve the best me. And trying to balance that is hard. It's hard. So some days are better than others. Some days are worse than others, But I ask God for the strength. And I get a lot of strength from my support system, my friends, my family, my kids, my sister, my best friend that's out there waiting.
Hey, shout out.
Shalita.
Hey, Shalita. Shout out
yes.
to all the friends and supports and people that are there.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes a difference. It does.
But the advice that I will give to a grieving parent is take your time. They say it's going to get better, it's going to get easier. To me, it has not. Some days it seems like it's getting worse because I'm still aging and I'm still going and, my son is no longer with me. So with that being said, I say take it at your own pace. If you want to cry, cry. If you want to laugh, laugh. If you want to be angry, be angry. If you want to be sad, be sad. This is your time. This is your emotions. This was your child. Don't let nobody, and I tell that to myself, don't let nobody dictate how you grieve. That's not fair. If you want to sit there and shout from the rooftop, you do that. Whatever you feel that's going to comfort your needs. And another thing I can say, because it's something I'm learning to deal with, is try your best not to shut people out. Because at the end of the day, when you lose a child, as when I lost Myron, everybody else's life went on. My life stopped immediately. I had to learn how to live again. I had to learn how to be this new person, this shell of a front of a happy person, knowing that my heart is shattered, So just move at your own pace. That's all you can do. And just stay prayerful. Like, I can be the first person to say I lost faith when my son was killed. I was angry. I said to myself plenty of times, why couldn't my baby be spared? Why couldn't, he get a second chance? And God don't make mistakes, so I had to learn how to live with just that question that I know would never be answered, So just take it one day, one step, one moment, one breath, one tear, one hug, one kiss, one flip of the finger, however you feel. You just take it one day at a time and, keep your support system close. I shut a lot of people out. I tend to get into my modes where I just, I don't want to hear about your son going on prom. I don't want to hear, I try not to be that way, but I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be transparent. It happens. So I'm learning within myself to not do that, because at the end of the day, Myron wasn't just loved by me. He was loved by plenty.
Yes, he was. He really was. And you could feel that he was, because all the supports that you have and what you speak of and what he's shown the world from the articles that you've put that are out there regarding your quest. I've read them.
Yes.
And I just feel that you are continuing to move, even though sometimes it feels like at a slow pace.
Yeah.
Like total. You're totally right with that. And I'll agree, definitely for parents and understanding when you lose a child, your whole life changes. You no longer look at the world the way you used to. And, taking time and understanding it's nothing that you will always get over. You're going to walk with it.
Yeah.
Because your child is dead for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Therefore, you must be understanding that this is a lifelong commitment to grief.
This is my reality.
And a lot of, yeah. So with the tragic murder, not killing, but murder
Yes.
of Myron, what would you say, or what can we do as a community to stop the violence? There's so many things that are being done and pushed and said, the news, people are getting monies to make organizations to walk the streets. I mean, like, what do you think is really what we need to do as a community to truly stop the violence?
First and foremost, take accountability. A lot of parents, a lot of community activists, a lot of leaders, we tend to, when it happens to us, it's kind of like you want to shield certain things from being known or certain things from being said. And within a community, it takes away from the truth. So, like with my son, his case would move forward if someone came forward. I know that there's someone out there that knows information about my son's murder. And, a lot of people, they look at this no snitching rule and, the streets don't talk and things like that. And that needs to stop. We are losing our babies. We losing our kids, our young black men. And if you don't say nothing and she don't say nothing and he don't say nothing, we're never going to get anything solved. So I really feel like within communities, we have to take our streets back. If you see something, say something, and the police, I just feel like, need to police a little bit more to the fact of we're comfortable with saying, hey, I saw this or I saw that without worrying about the retaliation from the bad guys, because at the end of the day, the bad guys are winning. They're walking around here terrorizing our streets, taking our youth, and we're afraid to speak up because of what's going to happen. But growing up, I was afraid of the police. It was we don't want the police around. And now it's just people, they don't care. So we need to start bringing that peace back into our community. So I'll feel comfortable with saying, hey, it was a black SUV I just saw, drive down the street or whatever. I don't care about snitching. If somebody snitched, my son's murder case will be solved at this moment, so that's how I feel. And I'm very, very strong-minded about that. We have to take accountability. We have to take our streets back. We can't let them win. We just can't.
I love that. That's a fact right there. Okay. Well, I love it. Yes, taking our streets back, being accountable, being able to say that this is our community, and ownership is the key.
Yes.
I agree.
Definitely.
I agree. Yeah.
Definitely.
So with all the things that you've got going on, advocating, being a mom, being on the forefront of this cause, how do you take care of yourself when it comes to your mental health? What do you do, or what things do you feel that are helpful, and what would you advise somebody to do to take care of themselves?
I tend to wrap myself into my kids. I am on the PAC, the Parent Advisory Council at my kids' school. I just got elected for the local school council for my kids' school just last week.
Okay.
So I try to wrap myself around stuff that's going to keep me busy, keep my mind off of things. And a lot of other things that I do is I pray. I pray and I paint. I mean, not forget that. I paint. The Mother's Day before my son was taken from me, he bought me these expensive paintbrushes. And I had used them one time prior to his murder. And I put them up because it was like, this is something of Myron's. I don't want it to get messed up. But thought about it, like he bought it to use. And when I started back painting maybe a couple of months ago, it is so relaxing. It's really just like a form of meditation for me. And, I have my little wine every now and again,
Okay, we got on that. Wow, I did not know that.
Yes,
That is good. Okay, so painting, taking time for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
I try not to be by myself like everybody say, you need a mom moment and, some adult time. But, sometimes my adult time leads into conversations on what happened to my son. So when I wrap myself around kids, they don't see that pain of a mother grieving. They see the fun mother, and it helps me because it's like when I'm around adults, the conversation is going to come up. I'm going to speak about my son. Sometimes it takes me into a bad place. Sometimes it doesn't. But, with the kids, it's kind of like it's an open field to, just look at them through, eyes of somebody grieving and, want different for them. I look at my kids and I just be like, wow, Myron would be so amazed at, the things that his brothers do and, his sister graduating from high school and going on prom, things that he missed, so I wrap myself into my kids a lot. Like, that's my outlet.
Wow.
Definitely.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That is
So
beautiful. Yeah, a lot of us think we have to escape some of our, social networks and things that are around us, but often we can make that mental health time good around the people that we love because it feels so nurturing too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is the best advice, if you can think of it, that you've ever received when it comes to what you are moving forward towards, let's say, like when it comes to your advocacy? Like, has anyone given you anything or any nuggets that helped you kind of see this and keep moving or pushing through? Or is there anybody you can speak on or touch that is like a role model to you?
Well, I cannot even speak this without shedding a tear or the biggest smile, because you, Rafiah, you are, when I say this woman here, y'all, this woman here, it's like we have this type of connection, I might be having a bad day or, and I just text her, just to hear her voice, because she comforts me, and we both share the pain of losing the child. So, that's a connection that, I say, hey, I don't want that connection, but it's something that has brought us together and has held us together. And it's just, she's doing it. Like, she motivates me. I told her just on the ride here, I procrastinate a lot with things that I want to do and advocating for my son, because it's just like, if I push it off until the next day, and the next day and the next day, I feel like that works for me, but I don't get nothing done. But she gets it done. She opened up this platform for me to come and speak today. You are my motivation, sis. Like, everything that you have said from the first conversation that we've had, you have done it and you're continuously doing it. And I am so proud of you as your sister, as your grieving sister, as your party sister. Like, I am so proud of you, sis. Like, seriously.
Thank you. Oh, man. I wasn't expecting that, you guys. But I am honored to say that I feel the same way. I feel the same way. I am just so proud of you, and what you're doing. And thank you for coming on. This was really good for us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
Thank you for having me.
A couple more things. There is a project coming on real soon, April 27th.
Yes.
And Chicago Area 2.
Yes,
is
Area
that right?
2 Detectives.
The Area 2 Detectives. You want to talk a little bit about it? And I see the flyers up. That's great.
Yes. So this is a walk to bring awareness to the gun violence in Chicago. We're walking from 87th and King Drive to Thule Park, which is east of 90th Street. But it is Saturday, April 27th. The walk starts at 11, from 11 to 1. And there are going to be resources, for the families to get information on, whatever their needs may be. So I'm looking forward to getting out there, getting some exercise, walking amongst my sisters and brothers of, tragedy, even though this is something that brought us together that we wish would not have, but we have to embrace it. This is our new norm. This is our life now. So, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. And it's actually National Crime Victims' Rights Week.
Yes.
So anyone who's out there and wants to join, I'm pretty sure, the information is going to be posted on our website. And then, of course, you can find it more with our Chicago police districts. And
yes, Area 2.
Area 2. Who's
my
sponsored?
family liaison is, her name is Stacy Gilliam. She is the best. She is the reason why I attend events with, the Chicago PD. She, makes sure that Myron's story stays out there, and I love her for that. So if you can reach out to her, I believe her number is on the flyer as well.
Cool, cool. Okay, you all heard it from Carmela. So my next question would be, how do you overcome or continue to make changes when it comes to dealing with loss and grief? So, for example, having to deal with several things with managing kids all the way down to managing your grief. You spoke about prayer and you spoke about, being around other people, but is there any other thing that you say helps you overcome that you would share with the audience that would help them kind of see it in the light, especially with a tragedy so deep with Myron's loss?
I would say, don't lose yourself. That's one thing when I've learned with myself and dealing with my situation and talking to other parents that has lost a child as well. We tend to lose ourselves. I died with my son. I say it all the time. So I'm trying to learn how to live again, through the spirit of my son, fighting for justice for my son. So me personally, I would just say, just take it one day at a time, don't put too much on your plate. Sometimes we'll think about this all at one time, get a checklist, write some bullet points down, say, hey, today on this day, I'm going to tackle this. Tomorrow, I'm going to tackle that. The next day, I might just want to lay down and, rest or grieve or cry or whatever. But do it at your pace. Do it at your leisure. Don't let nobody push you into, thinking that, hey, you grieved long enough or you have to move on. No, this is your life. This is your pain. And no one shares this pain but you. So just embrace it and learn how to overcome different obstacles, within yourself. Me personally, I am learning to just get up and do it. I'm a procrastinator. I put a lot of stuff off. So one advice that I can give to myself is to just get up and do it. I should be a spokesperson for Nike right now, just do it, but do it at your pace. There's no time limit. There's no, hey, you need to get over it. Just, pray about it, ask God to lead you and follow his steps.
I like that. What would you like people to know as we close out today about your experience? Like what one thing you would like to share with them that they would not hear from anyone else but a mother who has lost their child?
The justice system. They need to do better. I'm learning a lot about litigation, court things. I done even went to the library and took out, books about, just laws and things like that. Educate yourself on these laws. There's a lot of laws that are changing. There's a lot of laws that's going to affect, the well-being of someone that done something bad or me being a victim, of a crime. Just, ask questions. There's never a dumb answer. There's never, hey, I can't answer that question. And stick strong with it, call them. If you have to go by, the police station, if you got to reach out to a family liaison, they are there to help. Use them. I use mine. I text her if I want to know something about my son's case or, anything, of that nature. But just make sure that you ask questions because it's a lot of things that I don't agree with within my son's case that I'm trying to get the word out about. But it's a lot that they don't tell you. It's a lot that you don't see. It's like a lot of behind the scenes things. So, ask questions, reach out, and try to get the information that you need.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that.
No, thank you, sis.
Well, I love this smiling face right here with us.
Yes.
And Myron is definitely loved, and the advocacy work that you're doing is making him proud, if no one has told you that today.
Thank you.
Yes. And just remember, everyone, that it's National Crime Victim Rights Week that's coming up, April 27th, Area 2. Detective Division, the Family Liaison Office, is hosting this walk from 11 to 1. And it's 87th and King Drive and going east to Thule Park. So if you're out, it'll be vendors, food, and come support the cause. I want to thank my sister from another mother.
Thank you
for
sis.
coming out and sharing this powerful story and what you've done and what you continue to do every day.
Yes.
I do not take you for granted. I thank you so much. And I want to thank everybody else for coming out today. We'll see you next week. And by all means, be well and be safe.
Yes.
Bye-bye.